Hey, good morning. Good morning. So today I made $3,600 in about 30 minutes trading M&Q, right? So I'm going to give you a quick trade recap on my thesis, pretty much the trade setup that I took, what was going on in my mind, my risk reward ratio, profit target, stop loss, all that good stuff, right? But before we get started, if you are a struggling trader looking for consistency in the market, I do offer affordable coaching at strongtrading.com. Okay, so go to strongtrading.com. The link will be in the bio. Apply for coaching. We'll reach out to you and we'll take it from there. All right, so going into the trade recap, as you can see this morning, we had a huge sell off, right? Like huge sell off for the most part. Okay. Basically, I'm going to take you through my process. So what I normally do is I go to the daily time frame and I try to see what the previous day low and high is. Oops. So let me mark that out. As you can see, our previous day was on Thursday. We had a long weekend. This is the previous day low, and then this is the previous day high. So I know that the market gapped down, so this might be irrelevant. The only reason why I still mark it out is because if today was a day that we started trending up, right, this previous day low could be a potential profit target of mine, because that's what I normally use previous day low and highs for, me personally, just profit targets, okay? So I normally trade on the 1 minute time frame. As you can see this morning, we pretty much consolidated for like the first 5-6 minutes this morning, right? So when that happens, I'm a momentum trader. I like breakouts, I like pullbacks, continuations, all those good things, right? Like I need volatility, I need momentum for my strategy to work. So whenever we consolidate, I normally mark a support and resistance, right? So in this case, this was 5 minutes. This was the first 5 minutes. So that's the support of the first 5 minutes. And then this is the resistance of the first 5 minutes. And now I'm waiting for a breakout of either or. Okay. So as you can see, we broke out of support, pulled back, and then we almost touched it, right? Making support resistance. But the thing is, I like to look for displacement, right? And displacement means how far do we break out before we started retesting again, right? How clean was that breakout? So in my opinion, this isn't really clean. I like to see multiple candlesticks, not just one or a few big candlesticks. I like to see multiple and small candlesticks. So if we break out to the downside, I like to see weakness. And if we break out to the upside, I like to see strength. Okay. So let me clear this up real quick. All right. So like I said, this really isn't quality displacement in my eyes. So if it's not quality, I'm not going to take it. I'm pretty much going to sit on my hands. I want the best odds or the highest odds in my favor. But this displacement was absolutely perfect. Right. So we have multiple candlesticks chopping down, showing a little bit of weakness. We pull back up, right? Boom, right there. Now I'm going to show you exactly where I entered. And before I show you where I entered, I want to emphasize that you have to be able to read candlesticks and like candlestick patterns very proficiently in order to determine if this is a high probability or high quality setup. Okay. So basically my entry point was this level right there. It was this level. Okay. So you can see that we broke down, touched it, came back, touched that support, made resistance, came back down, got a beautiful hammer candle, came back up one more time. And then once this candlestick right here closed below this support line, it has to close. I went ahead and entered. Right, so I'm going to get my handy dandy short position. I entered right here. My stop loss was going to be at the top of these two pivot points right here. So we have a pivot point right there, and then we have a pivot point right there. So my stop loss is going to be at the top of that. And every day I'm very realistic. I keep it simple. I go for 1 to 2R. So 1 to 2R is about right here. So you can see it says risk reward ratio 2. So this is the bottom of this green box is my profit target. The top of this red box is my stop loss. That's when I will accept a loss gracefully. And then the bottom of the green box is when I take profits. Okay. So as you can see, this is my thesis from here on, right? So we broke out of this range, didn't get quality displacement. So I'm going to wait a little bit longer. Got quality displacement because we see weakness, these small candlesticks going down. And then we made another pivot point, making this retouching or retesting this support made resistance. We got 2 pivot points. And then I found where the support line was on these 2 pivot points, right? So it kind of looks like a double top for the most part. Okay. So once we closed below that support line, I entered immediately, set my stop loss at the top of these pivot points, and then I went for a 1 to 2 R. Now, the thing about this is I trade on the 1 minute time frame. I trade on the 1 minute because I like precise entries and I like tight stops. But I normally go to the higher time frame if I want to have very generous profit targets, right? So even though this is my 1 to 2 R, I'm going to scale out of this position because I had 7 on this trade. I had 7 M and Q contracts. So I set my profit target for 5 out of the 7, right? On this profit target right here. So if I go to the higher time frame, let's call it the 30 minute, right? 30 minute. So as you can see, my setup is over here. Now I'm looking to the left. And I see that there is a low of day on April 10th that is a pivot point, and there is nothing stopping price right here from exceeding this. There's just a wick right here. There's nothing in the way. So my profit target from my 1 to 2 is around $433.80. So it's about right here. So this is my profit target from my 1 to 2. So if I'm going to make it here, the chances of us getting to the bottom of this wick is very likely. So I'm going to scale out from my 1 to 2 R, and then I'm going to leave 2 contracts to clean up the rest, 2 runners. Okay. All right. So coming back to the 1 minute time frame, as you can see, we got a smooth push down. We didn't get into any drawdown, none of this red area, right? No drawdown whatsoever. Smooth push down, hit the first profit target, no problem. Okay, so 5 out of 7 contracts sold. I'm green for the day. And now I'm waiting for price to hit the second profit target, which is right here. I'm on TradingView right now, looking at Qs. I trade futures, M and Q or NQ, and they're more volatile. So I actually got out right here on this candlestick. It made it there on the futures chart. If you check it out, like around 10:18, 10:20. Right. And yeah, that was the trade. $3,600 in about 30 minutes. I entered at 9:52 and then I exited like around 10:18. So yeah, that's about 26 minutes, a little less than 30 minutes. And yeah, that's it. I kept it very simple. All right. I allowed price to do its thing. I waited patiently for a quality setup and I pulled the trigger, and I let the results be the results. So for a quick recap, we consolidated for the first 5 minutes. Set my resistance, set my support. I'm looking for a 5-minute opening range break. We broke out, retested. I didn't really like this displacement, so I didn't take this trade to the downside. Came back down. I liked this displacement a lot. These choppy bodies, and then this hammer right here. We came back up, made another pivot. I found the support between the 2, pivot points or retest areas. We broke that. I waited for a candle to close. That's very important, waiting for the candle to close. And then I entered right here, set my stop loss at the top of these 2 pivot points, and then went for a 1 to 2 R, scaled out, went to the higher time frame, looked for another pivot point that we could potentially hit on the higher time frame, which we did, and sold the remaining 2 contracts, yielded me $3,600 on the day. So I hope this video helped you out, gave you an idea of how to trade, my thesis, and how I look at the charts. So hit like, subscribe, and remember I do offer one-on-one coaching at strongtrading.com, and I'll see you tomorrow.